Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hipdot Cenote Eyeshadow palette, and I'm also going to show you how I created this eyeshadow look using it. So if you want to see that, then definitely keep on watching. Okay guys, so I got this palette in my Boxyluxe for the month of December that I unboxed recently, and I'll have that link down below in case you want to see that. But this is the packaging, super beautiful. I really like it. I own the Hipdot Cenote palette and I really like it. So this is the color story, super beautiful and bright. We get a nice mix of matte and shimmers. We get 15 total eyeshadows in this palette, and they're mostly blue tones, but you also have a nice range of neutral, like everyday tones here if you want it to be more light. But I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it for you guys, and then we're gonna go and get into the tutorial. Okay guys, here's a closer look at the palette, and I tried to swatch it in my arm for you guys. Here's what it looks like. Do not mind my dry arms, I have eczema like I always say. Let me try to get a different angle. Okay, so you get an idea of how versatile this palette is. The first half of my arm down here, it's pretty neutral toned, and then you even have some neutrals up there, and then the blues and some smokiness going on. So it's really not just all blues, but it's honestly a beautiful, beautiful palette. And here's that color story. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyelids using the NYX eyeshadow base in the shade white, and I'm just using my fingers to blend this all over my eyelids. And I'm just showing you that I'm going to attempt to use this brush set that I also got in my Boxyluxe, and this is from Luxie. But the first brush I'm going to take is an angled shading brush from this set, and I'm going to dip into the shade Ojos at the top brown, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. So I'm going to apply this directly onto my crease, and then I'm going to drag it a little bit upwards, a little bit higher on my lid. And as you can see, I'm just really taking my time packing on that color while also making sure that the shadow is nice and blended. But this wasn't super pigmented. I mean, it's not the darkest brown in the palette, but I'm just making sure that I get enough pigment, and I'm taking my time with it, just blending it out nice and slowly. Okay, now that I'm kind of satisfied, I'm just going to take my color switch and clean off the color on that brush, and using the same brush, I'm going to dip into the color right next to it, Bedrock, and I'm just going to use this as a blending shade, and I'm going to just blend out the edges of the eyeshadow that I just applied, and I'm using circular motions with my brush just to create sort of a seamless application. It seems like I took forever, but I just really wanted to look nice. And now we're going to head into the shimmer. I really had a hard time picking a shimmer, but I went ahead for that middle shade, Goddess, just because I thought it was so beautiful, and it kind of screamed a little bit green to me, but it's more of a teal. And look at that, guys. It's just so gorgeous and pigmented and just stunning. One of the most beautiful shades I've ever seen in any palette ever. And I'm just using my pinky finger because I want to make sure that I don't go overboard, which I do sometimes. But then I'm taking a small like packer brush, and this is from MOTD, and it says it's a pigment packer. That's how they describe it. And I'm going back into that same shade just to perfect the application of that shimmer because I really want it to look really nice. Now that I feel satisfied with that application, I went ahead and chose a color for the outer corner of my eye, and I had a really hard time picking, but I went with my gut intuition that told me to try out that shade Tulum at the bottom right, because it's just so gorgeous and it looks so smoky and glittery and also blue and smoky, which I love. And I'm using this small like little angled brush, and I'm gonna apply this to the outer corner of my eye. I was not too gentle like I should have been in the beginning, so I got fallout right away. But then I'm also going to blend it upwards and into my crease. I recommend if you do this, please be careful, and also maybe do your face makeup after your eyes. I'm not used to doing that. I always prefer my eyes after, but this shadow did cause a lot of fallout. But anyway, I'm just slowly, after I realized that I made a mistake, I'm slowly kind of blending it upwards. And then I decided to go ahead and create my outer V shape. But it got smoky very fast, which I do like. But for next time, I'm going to be very, very gentle and maybe use like a smaller brush. But this shade is honestly really, really beautiful. Now I'm going in with my blending brush, because as you can see, we have a lot of cleanup to do because some of the edges are just not nice at all, because this shade was really, really smoky and darker than I expected it to be. But that's totally fine. Now I know for next time. So I'm just trying to blend out the edges, and I took my time with it, and then I went back with that brush and just extended the outer V shape a little bit and make sure that I keep my contrast. I didn't want to lose my contrast as I was blending out, but that's how it looks so far. And then I'm going to go back in with the packer brush and that shimmer Goddess, and I'm going to reapply that so that I don't lose that either. I want to make sure that I don't lose either of my shadows, that they can both be seen on my eyelids. Then I also couldn't make up my mind about what to use on my lower lash line, and I settled for that gorgeous royal blue shimmer Ancient, just because that's one of my favorite colors, royal blue. And I also thought that it would create contrast between the shadows on top and then below my lower lash line. So I went ahead and applied that. I took my time with it, and it applied beautifully, honestly, and I love how it turned out. Then I'm taking a small blending brush. This is from Luxie, and I'm dipping into that shade Bedrock, and I'm just kind of blending a tiny little bit around that shape that I created in the outer part of my eye, just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. And lastly, guys, for the final touch, I dipped into that beautiful shimmer Rain, and I applied this to the inner corner of my eye, and then I blended it a little bit upwards just to make sure that I get some light in that portion of my eye, and I thought this shade performed beautifully. Okay guys, so this is the final look. This is how it turned out. I like how it turned out. I kind of went a little bit dramatic for a second there, because as you could tell, this shadow right here that was calling my name is kind of almost like glittery, and it's dark, but I had some fallout, so I had to reapply my face makeup. But overall, I really love the quality. The shadows performed beautifully, and this, whatever happened with the shadow, was totally my fault, because duh, I should have used my finger, and I just really wanted that on the outer part of my eye, because I love the color, including the shimmer of it. But it did turn out okay. I was really impressed with the palette, and I cannot wait to play with it again. And again, I really think you can create an everyday look with this. This yellow shimmer is just stunning. But yeah, here's the final look. I really like how it turned out, and it was really simple to create. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up for me, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.